Can you take 25% of your pension tax-free every year in the UK? The answer to that is yes and no. That doesn't mean to say, let's take a very simple example. Say you have £100,000, doesn't mean that you can take 25% tax-free every year, and obviously over the course of 4 years, you would have had 100% tax-free. I hope that's clear. What it does mean though is, say you had, let's use a bigger example for this. Say you have a £500,000 pension pot, and you said, Dominic, I want to take £20,000 per year from my pension pot. Can I have 25% of that £20,000 tax-free each year? Yes, you can. This is one of the biggest things that people misunderstand when they reach age 55 or 57 from 2028 is you do not have to take your full 25% each time. You can obviously delay it for future years. So when you reach 55, say tomorrow, and you have £500,000, at that point, you would be able to take £125,000 tax-free from your £500,000 pension pot. But you don't need to do that. Say you said, Dominic, I want to take 20 grand for a conservatory. That £20,000 you could either take fully tax-free, or you could just take 25% of that £20,000 tax-free. It's completely up to you. This is a conversation you should be having with your financial advisor who can help you plan. If you want to have a conversation with myself or one of our senior advisors, book in below via the Calendly for a free appointment. The reason this is so important is if you think about it in your head, you have a 25% tax-free amount. Now, if we go back to the example of £500,000, say you can grow your pension pot. The general level of equity growth over the past 30 to 40 years of the S&P 500 has been circa 10% per annum. Now, you might not invest all of your capital 100% in the S&P 500, that would be very undiversified, but let's even take half that example of 5%, okay? If you can have 10 years growth of 5% and you have £500,000, by the end of those 10 years, I'm not going to factor in compounding, you're going to have roughly £750,000. Now, your 25% tax-free element of that £750,000 is still valid. So you would in effect get a much larger tax-free amount than if you withdrew your tax-free amount from the £500,000 at the beginning and then waited until later in life to draw down the rest from the remaining 75%, which hasn't been taxed. So it's very, very good idea with your financial advisor to be planning how you want to take your tax-free element. It's one of the conversations clients often say, well, what do financial advisors do? Why would I pay any fees and money? What's the point? That is just one small example of probably 20 to 30, 40, 50 things to be going through with your financial advisor of how you should be trying to optimize your financial planning. It's not just a case of, oh, this might be the best solution for you, a SIP or a DC transfer or an ISA or JISA, whatever it might be. It's about that ongoing relationship. Unless you know all these things yourself independently already, I would say having a financial advisor on hand is extremely valuable to understand that stuff. We had a comment recently that was saying you should include your costs more on the channel. We don't find it transparent that you don't include your costs or not. Our costs are always included on our website, but below the team will include the link here. You can see we have a 3% setup charge for up to £250,000, a 2% setup charge, then up to £1 million, and a 1% setup charge over £1 million, always with a 1% ongoing annual management charge. I hope that clears it up in terms of can you take 25% tax-free from your pension pot every year. If you do have any questions though, please let me know and I'm happy to do another video to go into the topic in more detail. And as always, take care with the UK pension assets.